Right. Hello there, folks. Only me. Do you know what? I just thought I'd just come on and just have a little bit of a grizzle whinge moment, I think. I've been thinking about doing this for a while, actually. I don't quite know where to start with it, but yeah, I'll try not to depress everybody too much, although it would be hard to depress anybody on a day like this. It's been absolutely stonking out there, isn't it, today? Beautiful. But yeah, just a bit of a chin wag I could do with. They reckon, what's the old saying? A problem shared is a problem halved, isn't it? So I'm kind of hoping it might be a little bit, I don't know, what do they call it? Therapeutic, or what's a better word? Cathartic. Cathartic is a great word. I think I could even spell it, I reckon. But yeah, I think I need to do this for my own flipping sanity, to be honest with you. Oh man, I don't know whether any of you turned the news on recently or looked out the door, but the world's gone absolutely nuts, isn't it? It's gone absolutely nuts. Bat poo crazy. Notice I said bat poo there rather than the word you're all thinking, because obviously I'm a Christian guy and I'm perfect anyway. In every way, can't say it, but just adjust my halo there before I carry on. But I don't know, man, it's, for me, it feels a little bit like, you know, the boiling of the frog scenario. It's kind of like, I feel like I've been sleepwalking for a couple of years and all of a sudden somebody's flipping cattle prodded me awake to kind of all the reality that's going on all around us. And for the most part, me no likey. Me really don't likey. And oh yeah, it's I was thinking about it. It's like that Simon Pegg film, one of my favourites. What's it called? Shaun of the Dead. Do you remember Shaun of the Dead? And he goes to bed at night time and everything's well in the world, sort of thing. And he wakes up in the morning, sort of half asleep, sleepwalking on his phone down to the local shop. I think he goes to get like I can't even remember, a can of pop and a paper, or I don't know, a loaf of bread, something. And as he comes out of the shop, he sort of walks out into zombie dawn, like, you know what I mean? Like apocalypse now. And, oh man, I mean, I'm exaggerating obviously, but it feels a little bit like that to me. It's just been like, it just feels like it's been one thing after another, hasn't it, in recent years? I mean, we all had COVID and that was an absolute flipping nightmare. And then, you know, not too long after that came along, Ukraine, wasn't it? Then we had Israel, and now it's all kicking off in Iran. And then that's not to mention what's going on domestically in this country, which is in a complete and utter flipping mess, as we all know. It's just, honestly, like I said, it's just hopefully about me just talking a little bit of sense into the equation, or at least have a chat to some like-minded people who might be feeling, you know, like the same way. You know, I know it's a bit of a fine line on it, because you don't want to come across all kind of doom and gloom, or self-indulgent, more importantly, because I'm not one of them. And I think I'm getting a little bit old to be what do they call it? An influencer. Nearly 55 years old. I think I might have missed the boat on that one. But, and also, you, like I say, you don't want to come across doom and gloom. But then there's also that little bit of a fear factor. You don't want to come across like you're flipping mental. You know, and there's always, what's they reckon the biggest fear for most people is social exclusion, or what's the other word for it? Public humiliation. And none of us want that, do they? And it took me back, actually. I was thinking about something that happened to me years ago. It stick with me for all the wrong reasons, but yeah, and it's that fear of public speaking, isn't there? Making a fool of yourself and that kind of thing. Well, I've done a lot of public speaking, and I had to speak to this group, and something I'd done before, you know, plenty of times before, and it was the weirdest thing, because I started speaking, and you try to speak with a bit of like confidence or authority, don't you, command the room and all that kind of malarkey. And I just go so far, and then I just completely and utterly shut down. I lost my train of thought. I got all muddled up, bit of brain fog, and you know, and I can just remember flipping, just not knowing what to say, and just one of them ground swallow me up moments. And there was like this pregnant pause, and you know, oh man, I think there was even like a little bit of a wet patch, a little bit of a nervous wee, I gotta be honest. And Oh man, and then the finger pointing from certain people noticing and started laughing, and oh, it was just an absolute nightmare. It's one of those things that'll just stick with me till the end of my days. But yeah, that was my last day as a nursery school teacher. That was the end of the line for me. Teaching kids. I'm sorry, but you know, kids, man, kids can be cruel, you know. But every day's a school day, as they say, or not anymore for me, as the case may be. Sorry, just a bit silly. Let's get back to depressing you anyway. Sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, back to the depression, and oh man, the flipping government, honestly, or somebody called it a guy, Bishop Kai Dewar, a Welsh bishop, very strong voice on the man, fantastic man of God, and he's starting to call him the regime. He doesn't call him the government anymore, just refers to the regime. But honestly, it's been doing my head in just recently. Just flipping make them stop. Somebody make them stop, please. And our leader. And I thought I found the game changer recently, right? Because the Bible says that we're meant to pray for our government and pray for people that are in leadership. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's in 1 Timothy 1, I think 1 and 2, I could be wrong. But anyway, so whereas for so long I'd been like, I couldn't even watch him on the screen, so he'd be coming on and I'd be flipping like this. So I've started getting to the point, or I was getting to the point where I was having a good old pray for him, and it was kind of working. I was starting to feel a little bit better about everything, right? Just because I wasn't so angry. But then until a couple of days ago, when he ushered in this, this blasphemy law through the back door, you know, and he just sent me straight back into orbit. Man, it's like flipping. Honestly, this is chilling. It really is chilling. Lots of people don't even realize how bad this is, I don't think. And it's insidious, right? Because it's been done intentionally vague, which means that people don't know what the rules are, right? It's very, very vague in the way that it's all set out. So therefore, it's kind of like people don't know what to say. What are we allowed to say? What can't we say? You know, what can we post? What can't we post? So then that makes people self-police because they're too afraid and they're not sure what the rules are. And then, like I said, they self-police and shut down. But then all that really does is make people feel frustrated and even more angry. And, it has the adverse effect, I think. But I honestly think it'll backfire because no religion should ever be beyond scrutiny. No religion should ever be beyond scrutiny. And you all remember, like, the life of Brian back in the 70s, for example. Then, do you know what I mean? As much as people might have been mental about that and offended, nevertheless, no religion should be beyond that, beyond scrutiny, beyond being questioned. Like I said, it's straight out of the Orwellian playbook. You know, it's proper George Orwell, 1984. It really is. So just lots of us have been getting really wound up about it. There's a couple of really good friends of mine, Christian friends, a preacher mate of mine, Johnny, great preacher, and he's been like, his head's been nearly coming off his shoulders, like, you know, this last couple of days, the same as me, and it's just heartbreaking and deeply worrying. But what it's doing, like I said, I think people are switching on and they're not going to put up with this stuff. You know, free speech is a wonderful thing, as our leader once said, and it's super important. It's worth fighting for. It's been fought for in the past. But yeah, like I said, the church is waking up. What was this? Oh yeah, sorry, I was just looking at it. I just wrote a couple of things down just to remind me what I wanted to say. But that same guy, Bishop Dewar, he was on a couple of days ago. I was listening to him, and he said something. He said that the church needs to wake up in this country. Everybody needs to wake up in this country, right? But he said what we need to be doing. He said we need to be looking towards muscular Christianity. He was speaking predominantly to men, right? And he said we need to get some testicular fortitude, right? And I was scratching my head, testicular fortitude. Basically what he was saying, that we all need to flip and grow a pair, you know, myself included, because things are getting serious out there. Yeah, testicular fortitude. It made me laugh. But yeah, folks, there's a battle on for the heart and soul of this country. And I think people are starting to realise what we're playing for. Sorry. Sorry, but yeah, positive things are happening. The church in this country has been a sleeping giant. It really has been a sleeping giant. But things are really, really changing. And people are waking up, like I said, and I certainly am. I've been faffing about for too many years now, and I just got to go all in. Absolutely all in. But yeah, with regards to the church, it's kind of on planet Earth. The church is growing, flipping exponentially, so quickly, all over the world, and it's mad. I was looking into this the other day, and it fascinates me, this kind of stuff. The fastest growing church on the planet is in somewhere you never believe. It's in Iran. The Iranian church is absolutely going mental. And this is a lot of the stuff that's going on now with the uprising and this kind of thing is people fighting back against this regime and wanting to find their freedoms, but it's all underground church, it's not brick buildings, it's people meeting up like sort of secretly clandestine meetings and smuggling Bibles, and super exciting. And so this is what I find the most gorgeous part of it, is that an awful lot of it is being spearheaded by women. Absolutely fantastic, man. So wonderful things are happening, but we're all, as is natural, we're all concerned about what's going on here. And I think, come on, it's fair to say that the church, other than being in certain pockets in this country, God moving in a big way, in certain churches, etc. I think for the most part, it's no secret the church has been in survival mode. But God's on the move. God's really on the move, and they're starting to call it the quiet revival in this country. And it feels like God's just turning the volume up bit by bit. And just super excited, and a lot of it is youngsters, what they call Gen Z. I think youngsters are just trying to find meaning in amongst the madness, and head into church and getting interested in Christianity. I'm not suggesting like they're doing the conga, into church or anything like that, the youngsters, but there's a definite shift and there's a definite hunger there. One thing, so the statistics of people going back to church in the country are really rising, right? It's super exciting. I've looked into it recently. I haven't got any of those stats. I'm not going to go into it. But one thing that is super exciting is Bible sales. I've written it down. Where did I write it down? In the last 6 years alone, Bible sales have gone up 134% in this country. That's mental. That's a massive number. And in the last year alone, it's gone up 19%. So it's happening, but why is it happening? And it's for a variety of different reasons. Obviously, culturally in this country, the things that are going on, the demographic changes that that none of us voted for. Our new arrivals and this kind of thing, which people are understandably concerned about, and not being listened to. Obviously, world affairs. There's lots of things that are going on, like I said, about Iran at the moment, and people are becoming fearful. I think there's a lot of people who are starting to feeling that we are losing our cultural identity, who we are. Change is a difficult thing for anybody to cope with, isn't it? And that's an awful lot to do with it. Oh, itchy foot, sorry. Oh. But why is it happening? And an awful lot of it is to do with the thing that you're holding in your hand now and listening to me, your mobile phone, social media. A young lad who's recently started coming to church, lad by the name of Josh, really nice lad. And I was talking to him last week in church, and I said, if you don't mind me, he had been invited, but I said, if you don't mind me asking, what started this kind of like hunger for you and asking questions and going on a bit of a faith journey? And he said, he said, it's obvious, isn't it? He said, I was like, what's going on? He said, social media. And I'm like, in a sense, I understand that because I watch loads and loads, right? But I think when you watch stuff, you get locked into an algorithm, don't you, right? And when you get locked into the algorithm, you're not sure what other people are watching. But then I have noticed a massive, what's the word for it, increase in people talking about Jesus. They're all mates of mine. Lots of stuff that on my phone there with people I'm interacting with that are sending me stuff. I'm sending them stuff. People being, interested in faith, but also interested in what's going on in the country at the moment. My daughter phoning me at the moment. I better ignore that for the time being to get on with this. But yeah, just super exciting. So he said it so matter-of-factly. I better answer this. Sorry, I had to answer the phone then. Kids. But yeah, so going back to Josh, what was I on about? So yeah, social media. There's so much that, people are watching. Long form podcasts, like Joe Rogan, he's had a lot of Christians on his show in recent years, and he's going to church himself. A guy called Jordan Peterson, who's not a Christian, but got lots of people interested in, studying the Bible and the biblical accounts, all that kind of thing. People like flipping Russell Brand, love him or hate him. There's a massive show about the life of Jesus called The Chosen, which is phenomenal, and it's been getting like massive amounts of views. So yeah, so where are we heading as a country? Because political solutions are miles off, or they seem miles off. Obviously, we got the locals coming up now in May, which is going to be like super interesting, isn't it? So yeah, we're at a crossroads. And people say we're a Christian country. Well, are we? We're going to see. We're going to see going forward. But politically, you've got old Starmer's on the ropes, and I don't think it's any secret. Will he hang on? Can't see it. Remember the old song? I think it was back in the 80s, wasn't it? Are we only making plans for Nigel? Again, who knows? You've got Rupert Lowe coming up on the outside, haven't you? Yeah, he's making a bit of a play for it. Then you've got old Zach Polanski. Oh, flipping heck, I'm not even going to go there. Absolute flipping madness. Absolute madness. But who knows? But the most important person of all of this, that, like I've said, lots are talking about, and who I've been talking about this morning, actually, at length, on my hands and knees, actually, and genuinely in tears. Might sound over the top to you, but I'm really, really concerned, really worried, and just crying out to God for to do something about the state of this nation, and to keep turning up that volume, because we're things are not good. Things are really not good. So I thought I'd finish with this. Where is it? It was something I stumbled across just recently, right? And it was written by, I think it's been attributed to somebody now, but back when I had this book, right, it was written by anonymous, right? It was in some paper in America, and somebody dropped it in, and it went, well, it wouldn't have gone viral then, because that's years ago, but it became very, very popular, right? And it's called One Solitary Life. I can hardly ever read it without crying, but I'll try my best. He was born in an obscure village, the child of a peasant woman. He grew up in yet another village where he worked in a carpenter's shop till he was 30. Then for 3 years he was an itinerant preacher. Never wrote a book, never held any public office, never had a family or owned a house. He didn't go to college, no fancy degrees. He never travelled more than 200 miles from the place where he was born. He did none of the things one usually associates with greatness. He had no credentials but himself. He was only 33 years old when the tide of public opinion turned against him. His friends ran away. He was nailed to a cross between two thieves. While he was dying, his executioners gambled for his clothing, the only property he ever had on earth. 20 centuries have come and gone, and today he is the central figure of the human race. All the armies that ever marched, all the navies that ever sailed, all the parliaments that ever sat, all the kings that ever reigned put together have not affected the life of man on this earth as much as that one solitary life. And at the top of the page, right, it's another quote by a guy called Ernest Renan. And Ernest Renan wrote, "The whole of history is simply incomprehensible without Jesus." Ain't that the truth? AD, BC, all our years, everything has been built on him. Civilization. And like I said, the whole of human history, like you just said there, but he's been changing lives since day one, folks. Mine included. And so often people find Jesus, through tough times, through desperate times, just like I did. Things need to get so desperate sometimes before we look up for help, and that's the very thing he wants from us, and I just hope and pray with all my heart that the same principle is going to apply to this nation. You see, the thing is, a lot of you might think, I just want to get away with religion. It's the problem rather than any kind of a solution, But just like those kids that I never taught in nursery school, that is honestly naive. And we all know deep down that's not going to happen. And you see, nature abhors a vacuum. And just when one religion starts to fail, another one will often take its place. And it just feels to me that I've written this down, that the question feels like it's not whether Britain will be shaped by faith, but by which faith is going to shape it. And I think that's exactly where we are. Which faith is going to shape it? And this is where I've got to know. I've rattled on for way too long. I didn't intend to rattle on this long, but faith is it's not just looking at us as a nation and see where we're going, but this is deeply personal. Jesus is my anchor in the storm. And I feel so sorry. Please accept my own wholehearted apology for my friends and family who I love dearly, that I haven't tried hard enough to tell about him, about faith, about the reasoning. So important, and I haven't done a good enough job, but that's going to change going forward. And a lot of people what I'm sharing, they say, I don't believe in God. And I often say to them, well, he believes in you. He believes in you. People don't know what to come back with that, but it's true. You may not believe in God, but he believes in you. And just thanks for listening. Just had to get this off my chest. Whether it's going to be listened to much, I don't know, but I just felt I needed to do it. And sorry for rattling on so long, but God bless you all. And take care of yourselves, okay? Catch up with you soon, God willing.